Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I'm the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling.
Welcome to 0 to 60. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. Happy Wednesday. Let's get into all this bullshit and get it over with.
It's going to be a great show here on this fine Wednesday, Big Matt. And this show is brought to you by Melon, M-E-L-I-N, bringing you the best hats, the most durable hats built to last 5 times longer than any other hat. They're built for the water. They don't lose the shape if you take them in the water. They give you the most comfortable fit. You can feel a difference in the materials they use. They offer small, classic, or XL to fit every size head. So if you're looking for the world's most durable hat, look no further. Go to melon.com. That's MELIN.com and put it to the test yourself. The show is also brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for betting. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. BetOnline is you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here and we roll. Matt, we're in the building on this fine Wednesday. Lots to talk about. Colorado making some noise in the recruiting world, landing for transfers here. How are you feeling on this fine Wednesday?
Good. Yeah, let's get into this.
Let's get into it, Matt. So Shedeur Sanders obviously is dominating the news. What's different here? But Matt, I titled this show "Colorado Fans Listen Up," and the reason being, we posted a short on Monday, just kind of us talking, you breaking down what you heard from your friends in the front office in the NFL here about Shedeur and his pre-draft interviews here, and the Colorado fans have responded. And some of the responses I've seen are kind of, how I don't want to say laughable, because I think they don't understand that you played at this school. You wore that C on your chest. You didn't just play there. You played at a very, very high level. And I think people really, really forget that when it comes to this. But Matt, do you have any response to the Colorado fans and the wild things in the comments here the last few days since our show on Monday? Go ahead.
I don't have any response. I'm over the hate for having an opinion, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think it's ridiculous. But if you don't think that a rookie quarterback needs to improve on the whiteboard, then cool. I guess he doesn't need to improve, and he just fell in the draft because someone doesn't like him.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I don't really have an opinion on it anymore, dude. I'm so burned out by what I used to think that there were like a pretty substantial number of people that actually understood sports and were good fans. And I'm convinced, totally and unequivocally convinced, that 99% of people don't know shit. And everything is about like if their opinion is somehow stepped on, whoever said the opinion is a fucking idiot. No one knows shit, and they just come after you about everything, and it's laughable, bro. So now I don't really have anything to say about it, and I don't give a fuck. I'm over it. So if you don't like what I post, unfollow. Don't subscribe, don't watch. Keep your bitch ass in your house and don't think, and that'll be fine, and it'll be cool. And if you want to keep talking shit and hating, fine. I don't read the comments anyway. So I didn't even know what Bailey was talking about until he brought it up. So I got real life shit to worry about. Well, after I get done with this show, I close the computer and walk away.
Definitely, Matt. Definitely. And Matt, let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about here. Colorado bringing in 4 recruits. Micah Hudson transferring back to Texas Tech. There's a huge debate, Matt. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. We're gonna get your take on it. Bill Belichick released a statement about the whole CBS interview, and we're gonna break that down. But Matt, let's get into it here. Biggest news here I think we could talk about. Colorado signs Tennessee offensive tackle transfer Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson is a JUCO product, was once a top-ranked JUCO product. He leaves Tennessee after Tennessee signs David Sanders, top tackle prospect, and I ultimately think that may have played a part in it. But Colorado gains a big-time acquisition on the offensive line. Matt, what are your thoughts on this acquisition for the Buffs here, and how do you feel about it?
They just keep adding pieces. They seem to be attracting a lot of SEC transfers, right? Caliber type guys. I guess my question would be, why is he leaving Tennessee? But then again, if he's a good player, who cares?
Right.
Not everybody in the transfer portal is awesome, and not everybody on the team is bad. So there's give and take. We've seen a lot of people come in from the transfer portal that didn't do anything. And we've seen a lot of people come from the transfer portal that did everything. So hopefully this kid can just walk in and help immediately. I don't know who the starting five are going to be. I'm sure one of them is going to be Seton and then four other guys. So I'd imagine the Memphis kid will be one of the starters. We'll see.
Here's a potential starting five. Shout out to Scott Proctor over at DMVR. Go ahead.
That's a big-ass offensive line. Look, I'm just going to say this right now. If we can't run the football with that offensive line, we don't want to run the ball. And I know I've said that in the past, and everybody loses their fucking minds. But I will say that that's a huge offensive line. And you have Marshall Falk, and you have great offensive line coaches, three of them, or at least one. I know one of them is great. I don't know about the other two. We'll see. If they can't run the ball now, they don't want to run the ball. And that's fine, I guess. That's their choice. So we'll see, bro. I mean, this looks like a pretty big physical offensive line to me. But again, we'll see how they all come together.
Definitely. We'll see how they all come together. Matt, you mentioned Colorado attracting SEC talent. Another Tennessee Volunteer coming over to Boulder. Tennessee transfer DB safety, I believe John Slaughter commits to Colorado, 6'2", 195, played in 22 career games for Tennessee. Matt, like you mentioned, Colorado and Prime attracting SEC talent. I think as we've seen, over the last 2 years, Prime's talent he's bringing in, he just keeps stepping it up here. Another SEC acquisition for the Buffs. Any comment here?
Another quality player. So, what's going on at Tennessee? Maybe nothing. Maybe they're just leaving to leave. I don't know how much money is getting thrown at these kids up in Boulder, but it's got to be relatively substantial, I guess, if they're leaving Tennessee to go, knowing how much money Tennessee throws at their guys. But another quality football player that's coming in to get in the mix. So I don't know if there's any guaranteed. I don't know how you can guarantee start anybody. Yeah, you've got so many guys that have come in from the portal and from recruiting that you've got to have open competition, I'm sure. But again, if these guys are being told they're being promised jobs when they walk in, then hey, that works too. I mean, I don't really care who's wearing the uniform anymore. I care just make sure the standard of player is high, make sure that they deserve to be where they're at. We're not taking fucking a bunch of flyers on guys that might be able to play at this level anymore. Not saying Coach Prime ever did that, but that did happen at CU forever. 20 plus years since I stopped playing there, it was, let's just recruit the nice kid from Denver. And, if we don't get the other guys that can play, it's okay. We weren't going to get them anyway. And it was a very victim mentality. That's not the way it works up in Boulder anymore. So they're the hunter and the praise coming to them. So we'll see how it works. This is a huge year for Coach Prime and then everybody to just see if this experiment and this program is going to float without Shedeur and Travis and Shiloh and everybody else around Coach Prime. where he insulated them, they insulated him. So we'll see what happens now that you've got a bunch of new faces and a bunch of guys who want to come in and go down the same path. So we'll see.
Definitely. Well said, Matt. And I can't wait to see, the Buffs in Colorado era post Shedeur Travis. I can't wait for our first watch party. Somebody mentioned it in the chat. They're looking forward to it, Matt. I don't know if it'll be Georgia Tech or any other game, but I'm looking forward to the season here as we get closer, almost to May here, Matt. Let's stick on this train. Colorado's bringing in more and more players. I talked about this yesterday with the collegefootballnews.com writer, Pete Futak here, but Colorado signs Florida State transfer wide receiver Hakeem Williams, big body wide receiver, 6'2", 215, pretty fast kid as well here, former 5-star kid as well. Matt, again, more talent to Boulder. Bring him in with Sincere Brown, another transfer wide receiver we talked about a few weeks ago, 6'5", transfer wide receiver. Matt, adding to the wide receiver room here. Any comment?
They can't hurt. They just have 3 wide receivers drafted, so that was the most in the draft this year, which is pretty cool. Look, this kid has got every ounce of wide receiver in him that you're looking for. I mean, he can jump, he can run, he can catch the ball. He's super explosive. Mm-hmm. He did not have a very good quarterback situation last year, so I'd imagine that plays into this.
Sure.
Watching just a couple of clips that you find on this kid online, it's pretty impressive. So I'd like to think that he can come in and apply himself and be a huge part of the offense moving forward. On the other side of the coin, we know how some of these 5-star recruits are. So
true.
I'd like to think that he's not one of those guys, and he's a worker, and he wants to come in and get his job done and just kind of, go play and let the accolades and everything fall to him because of his play, as opposed to being like Cremani or, one of these other 5-stars that's just got their head cemented in their ass and they can't figure out why people have expectations. Well, it's because you're a 5-star recruit. That's why people have such high expectations. So you should want all that smoke if you're a 5-star.
Facts, Matt. Well said. Exactly. Definitely. And, another acquisition in the offense, we're just going to keep it rolling here. Colorado signs Incarnate Word, running back transfer to Kalen Taylor. This kid is also a kick returner. Had a hell of a season here for Incarnate Word this past year. Super dynamic running back to go Colorado's running back room that recently lost Brandon Hood to the transfer portal. Matt, man, I'm pretty excited for this, seeing this kid in Buffs uniform. Any thoughts here? New Buff running back.
Well, this is one of those positions that transition where if you're a good Division II running back, you get around really good players, you're probably going to be a good NFL running back, i.e. like Danny Woodhead, a guy I played with in college, or in the NFL. So look, this kid's film is outstanding. Obviously, the coaches wouldn't have brought him in if it wasn't. They did lose some backs, and they need to replenish that room. But this kid had to be signed off by Coach Falk as well. So, the ICU is really a hotbed. They do a great job of recruiting a bunch of under-recruited Texas kids that are really good players. So this guy could be the next one. We'll see how he catches the ball out of the backfield. I think that's going to be a big part of whoever's playing running back.
Definitely.
But, again, this is only cool. Oh, look at that. Double pull tight end scissor wrap.
Oh, yeah.
This is only cool if they actually decide to run the ball, bro. Yeah. You can't bring in all these monster offensive linemen and then new running backs and a run-first quarterback and a rookie quarterback and then not run the football. And I understand this is going to be a hater call and everyone's going to jump on me when I say it and all this other fucking bullshit. But, man, again, if they don't run the ball this year, they're choosing not to, and they're doing disservice to their football team for the simple fact that their defense is going to be so explosive and so good. Even with losing Hood, I think they're going to be excellent.
I think they're going to be legitimate defense next year.
I think they're going to be really good. So if you have a really good defense, you can support it by controlling the football and playing a little bit of Kansas State ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. And for everybody that just wants to go out there and video game it, throw the ball over the yard, and if you say anything negative about the quarterback or the coach, or you criticize anything, you're a piece of shit and blah, blah, blah. Can you go watch a different podcast and get the fuck out of my life, please?
Well, yeah, Matt, I like you mentioned, I definitely, if Colorado's bringing in Andre Gerard and Marshall Faulk, bringing in all these massive offensive line transfers, running back transfers, we'd like to see some run game here. We'd like to see some run game variation, like you mentioned, like we saw in that.
Character matters, motherfucker. What are you talking about?
Missed me at that. Matt, let's move forward.
The show again, you punk fucking bitch.
I have a question for you, Matt. So this is a huge. There goes Matt. Okay, well, I don't know where Big Matt went, but let's move forward. I hope to get Big Matt's take on this. Chat, let me know what you think about this. This has been a huge debate. Matt, you there?
Unfortunately.
Matt, this has been a huge debate on the internet here. I wanted to ask you about Coach JB and Big Smitty had a huge debate about this morning. 100 humans versus one gorilla. I wonder how a Matt McChesney would fare against a gorilla. Do you have any comments? You would lose? Smitty argues that a gorilla would
fucking lose.
See, I agree with you, man. I'm all on the train of don't fuck with gorillas. Here's a simulation. I think it's 10,000 gorillas versus 1 million people or men here. But Matt Smitty has to take that the 100 men would take out a gorilla. No shot. Do you believe there'd be any shot in that?
100 dudes at one time
versus one gorilla.
Versus a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think probably 100 dudes could take one gorilla.
Really? Man.
Yeah, I mean, the first 25 guys are like accepting the fact that they're going to get really fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
if we can get to 25 absolute mental cripples at the beginning of the line and just be like, you guys are sacked, you're cannon fodder. You guys have to take the brunt of this.
Right.
So we can position ourselves to kill the gorilla. Is it just hand on hand?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's any weapons involved or anything. You wouldn't want to, especially you wouldn't want the gorilla to get the weapon.
I don't want to fight a gorilla. But
me neither. This is a debate that started on the internet.
Yeah.
Chat was asking Matt versus the gorilla. I don't know. Matt McChesney versus the gorilla. I don't know. I'd still take the gorilla, Matt, and I think you would too. I don't know. Matt, I had to get your take on it here. Let's move forward and discuss some other topics here, Big Matt. Bill Belichick in North Carolina, hot topic on this show, as we know. Bill Belichick actually released a statement about his CBS interview, one we discussed on Monday here. He says, I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist as Simon & Schuster that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed this to the reporter, Tony Dokoupil. Excuse me if I butcher that. And the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom I share both a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate that point to help refocus the discussion. She was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but was simply doing her job to ensure the interview stayed on track. Some of the clips make it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we have been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. The final 8-minute segment does not reflect the productive 35-minute conversation we had, blah, blah, blah. Matt, the people coming at Bill Belichick miss me with that shit. I don't he didn't do nothing wrong here. I don't know. The interview clearly was doctored to try to highlight a point that wasn't there. But I don't know. Matt, do you have any comment on this statement that was released?
I just wish people would just fuck off with other people's relationships.
Yeah.
She's an adult and so is he. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean anything. And without social media, this scourge on the earth, no one would know that you didn't like it.
Yeah.
So no offense, but who gives a fuck what you think? Could she end up destroying his life? Of course. She's a female. That's what females do. Eventually, they all destroy your life. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time before she destroys his. Let's just be real. I give it 3 months.
3 months. It's not even the season. Oh, Lord.
He won't be with her during the season. He's got too much shit going on. 3 months before they break up, or she's suing him for sexual assault or something.
God.
Or she does something to get paid, because that's why else would she be in this relationship? So that's what I think.
Oh, man. So that would be a disastrous situation preseason for Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels. That's crazy. Unbelievable. Matt, I don't know if you saw this picture. I found this on Twitter. A live look at Bill and Jordan on the sideline during North Carolina next season. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know, Matt. 3 months. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. Hopefully. I'd like for it to be fine. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Tar Heels.
What do you think they talk about?
I don't know.
Nothing. They don't.
They
Number
don't
two.
talk.
I bet you when Belichick puts something on the whiteboard, she freaks the fuck out and tells him he's wrong. How could you talk about the starting quarterback like that? I like him. He seems like a good kid. It doesn't matter if he doesn't know anything, coach. You're a fucking idiot, not him.
Well, their starting quarterback will be South Alabama transfer Gio Lopez, lefty. I'm looking forward to seeing him play for the Tar Heels. But nonetheless, Matt, that situation seems to be going away here. Matt, let's move forward. Let's stick in the Big 12 and talk some Big 12 here. Micah Hudson played against Colorado this past season. Micah Hudson, Texas Tech wide receiver who transferred to Texas A&M in December. Micah Hudson went viral for having this alleged NIL deal with a bunch of pretty elaborate NIL gifts here. Has transferred back to Texas Tech, though, Matt, and Joey McGuire. And he ends up back in Lubbock, Matt. And he commented to this, why would Joey McGuire take him back? I don't know. Go ahead, Matt.
I mean, obviously, there's some kind of blackmail here. This guy's got some information on somebody. Why would you let him back?
Yeah, I'm really confused here.
He's just going to leave again. It's like the whore you're trying to make a housewife. Eventually, she's going to have someone else's dick in her mouth, and she's going to be like, "Oh, I didn't know." No, you knew. So this guy is just rotating fucking spots until he's done playing. And eventually that'll come sooner than later because no one wants to deal with this bullshit. You think this looks good to the NFL with the precedent they just sent?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No, it looks terrible.
Oh, man. Micah Hudson released a statement on Twitter commenting to the Red Raider Nation saying, "Lubbock has always been home, and I'm forever grateful to the coaching staff, teammates, and fans who make that possible. I'm back.
Yeah, we believe it.
This experience taught me a lot about myself and what it truly means to be a part of the Texas Tech family. God bless Recco Micah Hudson." Oh, man, Matt. Oh, man. Texas Tech, I will say, though, Matt, they picked up Cash Cleveland in the transfer portal. They've had quite the offseason here down in Lubbock. I think they're in the top 5 in spending in total in the transfer portal this offseason. And they have one of the top transfer portal classes in college football and first in the Big 12 right ahead of Colorado. But, Matt, what are your thoughts on Cash Cleveland going down to Lubbock?
At least he got on scholarship.
Amen.
He got paid.
No.
So good for him. It worked. Whatever he decided to do at CU when they wouldn't put him on scholarship, he went to somebody that would. So and that doesn't necessarily mean Texas Tech is going to win anything.
True.
They've never won the Big 12. I don't even think they've ever played for it. So
they've had 10 wins since 2009.
So, they've got to – it takes more than just spending money. College football programs are going to figure that out, just like the NFL. If you want to go spend on free agents, that doesn't always work. So, Lubbock is a hellhole, but they do care about their quarterbacks, or they do care about their football. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. Can't wait to see a bunch of tortillas on the field down in Lubbock next season, Matt. Man, Matt, let's move forward here. And where's Aaron Rodgers going, Matt? Is he done? What's he doing? The Steelers going to grab him. The Steelers drafted Will Howard. Where's Aaron Rodgers going?
I'd have to think he's going to end up in Pittsburgh if he wants to still play. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe just make a decision already. You're hamstringing the franchise you go play for because they can't build around you and they can't figure out if you're going to be the quarterback or not. So I hope that this guy just retires, honestly, and goes away. But that's a big if. I mean, it's a big hope. He's got a massive ego on him, and I think that there's part of him that just needs the spotlight, whereas some people hate it. They can't get away from it fast enough. This guy just says he doesn't like it, but then he's drawn to it like a moth to a flame. So,
yeah, definitely, Matt. I'd like to think he goes to Pittsburgh. Why? What's the holdup here? What are we doing? It's been almost a month since he threw a DK Metcalf. They brought him DK. I don't know, Matt. I predict
it's either that or fucking Ethan Rudolph and Will Howard. So
yeah,
you better figure something out.
Yeah, exactly. My dark horse is San Fran if they don't sign Brock Purdy. But Ed McCaffrey, we had him on JB's show. He said they're going to pay him $52 million. So that's the Niners' problem. I don't know.
That's ridiculous, dude.
That's crazy. I don't know. If I'm a Seahawk or Rams fan, I'd be pretty optimistic about the NFC West. Matt, let's go ahead and pay the bills here. Take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to discuss the Jets and their quarterback situation. Justin Fields seen throwing with his receivers, and I want to get Matt's thoughts on Justin Fields' potential as a Jets starting quarterback. We're also going to discuss Matt's favorite quarterback, Russell Wilson, and the Giants, New York franchises. We're going to discuss that and so much more. If you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family today. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Peace.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass pro and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield. There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Welcome down here to the Lab 60 Football Academy, 60 Strength and Fitness. I am your owner and operator, Matt McChesney. I just wanted to let everybody know that 60 is now on Cameo. You can go on Cameo and request any tips for training, any offensive line, defensive line tips, recruiting tips. I get so many inquiries in my inbox on a daily basis about tips and can you look at my film and can you do this? Can you break down something for me? I'd love to. All right? It's like the Joker said, my man, right here. If you're good at something, never do it for free. So Cameo is now your bridge to 60 Football Academy. Go in, request what you want, tips, suggestions, recruiting, film, and we will make sure that you get the absolute best from the best. So check out 60 on Cameo at 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy.
And we're back, Big Matt. Big Matt, do you miss the man bun?
No.
Not at all?
Nope.
There's that. I saw it in the commercial. I was curious. Matt, let's get into it. Let's discuss Jets quarterbacks here. Justin Fields, seen throwing with his Jets receivers. Matt, what are your thoughts on his potential this season as the Jets starting quarterback? Their GM says they're all in as Justin Fields as their starter and seem to be building around Justin Fields there in New York. Got a new tackle there as well to go with Olu Fashanu, who they drafted last year. Two good young tackles for the Jets there. But, Matt, what are your thoughts on Justin Fields' potential going into the season?
You're asking me to talk good about the Jets. I can't until the Jets show me that they can do something. I can't back Justin Fields blindly the way I did Aaron Rodgers and everything else. Can't do it.
Right.
So I hope it works out, but I'm sure that a year from now they'll be looking for another quarterback and he'll be looking for another job. And his jobs will start running out because he's just not the kind of quarterback they're looking for, I guess. I don't know. So.
And I'm looking forward to seeing Justin Fields to the Jets. I think, the offensive lineman acquisition they brought in the first round, I think is going to play a big part for them to go with Olu Fashanu. Obviously, Tyron Smith didn't work out for them last year. Morgan Moses went out with an injury. I think if Justin Fields, they can run the ball, Breece Hall, and the young back that they also have, who's a big bruiser back as well. I think Justin Fields can make it happen or make it work in New York there. At least he's got a team that's willing to go all in on him, isn't going to probably deal him away like they did with Caleb Williams and Justin Fields is in his situation in Chicago. Matt, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields were seen at a New York Knicks playoff game here, Matt. Let's go to Russell Wilson. Let's go over to the other side of New York. Your favorite quarterback, Russell Wilson here, slated to be QB1 for the Giants. They got Cam Scatterbo in the draft as well to go with Tracy in the running back room here. I think the Giants have to win 8 games or the GM and Brian Daboll are definitely gone. Matt, what are your thoughts on Russell Wilson as the Giants starter and the Giants this season, what they have to do for Daboll to keep his job?
I'd rather have Winston over Russell.
Really?
And weird, they have both of them. So I don't think he's going to be the starter. I think Russ is going to be the backup, and Jameis will be the starter.
Wow. He would be an expensive backup. It's like $16 million up to 21. Woo, man. So Jameis Winston, that's somebody who Sean King, who we've had on this show before, Super Bowl champion quarterback, is super high on. He thinks Jameis Winston is a starting quarterback in this league. Jameis for the Jets, I think he can make it work. He hasn't really had a full team, go on in with him as the starter since his time in New Orleans. But I think before he got hurt in New Orleans, that team was actually pretty well off, undefeated at one point. And I think, he goes and gets hurt and hasn't had a starting opportunity since. So, Matt, if Jameis is starting for the Giants, do you think they can win 8 games?
No.
No shot the Giants win 8 games.
I don't care who plays quarterback for them. Out of those guys they have in their room, they're not winning 8 games. They're not good enough.
Brian Daboll could get Daniel Jones. Keep in mind, Saquon was hurt a lot of that season. If Brian Daboll can get Daniel Jones to the playoffs, you don't think he can get Russ or Jameis to the playoffs? Whew.
No, I don't. I think that they're by far the worst team in the division.
So let's stay in the division. How about the Cowboys? Cowboys have been kind of quiet this offseason.
No, I don't think the Cowboys can make the playoffs either.
Wow. So you got Washington and Philly in that division. Obviously, Philly reloaded, got a hell of a linebacker in the first round, go in that linebacker room, of course. And then Washington Commanders, we know they made a lot of noise this offseason. We know how much noise they made. And, obviously, Jaden Daniels this past season here. You take the Commanders to win that division? Do you think Philly, stays on top? Or what are your thoughts for that division going into the season?
I think if Philly stays healthy, they're the 1 seed in the NFC and probably going to repeat. I think Washington will have a down year. I don't think that they'll make the playoffs next year.
Wow. So you think, damn, man. So you think the Eagles are the only team with the that makes the playoffs out of the NFC East? That's
just my opinion. I'm sorry if it doesn't agree with you, and I'm a fucking idiot now because my opinion.
I'm calling you an idiot. I thought you'd be higher on the Commanders after last season. You called that Lions upset with the Commanders. I thought you'd be higher on them. Man, I personally, I think the Giants are kind of my dark horse in that division. I know how Matt feels about Russell Wilson, but I think that it's kind of win or bust for Brian Daboll. So I think they're going to go all out 8 games is a bar for me. If Russ can go in there and win 8 games, I think it'll be just fine. I'm excited to see Cam Scatabo coming out of that running back room for him as a player I've been pretty high on since his Sac State days in the Big Sky. I'm wearing my Eastern Washington shirt today. But Matt, great show here on this fine Wednesday, Big Matt. We'll be back on Friday to talk all things Colorado Buffaloes recruiting. I'm sure Coach Prime's just going to make another splash recruit here and land him in Boulder. We've seen several visits very, very recently here up in Boulder. But Matt, any closing thoughts to your audience before we get out of here on this fine Wednesday?
No, thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate all the support, and we'll be back on Friday.
We'll be back on Friday. Enjoy the Wednesday, folks. If you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and become a member. All Raiders fans, if you're a Raiders fan, tune into my show tomorrow on Bailey Price Media. I got Fox Sports Radio host Q Myers joining the show. We're going to talk all things Raiders. Pete Carroll, my guy, and Ashton Genty, his potential next season. Geno Smith taking over as a starter for the Raiders, and much, much more. So tune into that. If you're watching, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family. We'll see you on Friday, and enjoy the day. Appreciate you.